Okay guys, I'm just going to be doing the post weekly for some of the calls I put out this week. This was, alright, Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, I said that I'm looking to short AUD USD. The daily wave hasn't broken down on Anki yet, but if it does, the 4 hour has space to go to negative 60. And then I said GU as well. The short might just be a couple of days. The W might be looking to cross up on 0, and it'll keep going if that happens. So let's go look at these from Tuesday onwards. All right, I'm going to start with AU because AU went well, and GU we got stopped out. So you can see this is Tuesday. In the morning, it was still actually anchored, and then throughout the day, it broke down on the plus 60, and I said that that would send the 4 hour wave to negative 60. I didn't expect it to go as ham as it did. You could see I was just trying to target a 2 hour on my entry, which is really sad because it went like 5. But anyway, like it is what it is. So the 4 hour wave did go down into negative 60. And this was a D15 type of an entry. So I'll just go down to the 15-minute time frame. You can see that's Tuesday, open for us in Australia. And that didn't really anchor, but then this one did, same price level, and then it fell away. So that would have been a Tuesday, D15, if it had touched plus 60. This is a Wednesday. D15, same price level anyhow. So yep, AU is really good. I'll just show you guys something else with the waves as well. Just talking about like market structure. I think I marked the structure up on a different time frame to get these levels. And just to explain the waves, from a price action point of view, and I think I told someone this in the mint a few weeks ago, that the waves, whether it's a trigger wave or an anchor wave, it's just creating either a higher low or a higher high, or a lower high, lower low, depending whether you're longing or shorting. And so you can see that here, obviously we're in the uptrend, and I don't know why, I think I marked this up on an 8 hour. As soon as you're getting candle body closes below this higher low, it's going to shift, but we were already expecting that to happen because, of the daily breaking anchor is the high, right? And now if you're coming off of a high, you need to put in a lower low, and for a lower low to get put in, you got to break this, right? So I can show you on the I had this marked up, it's obviously marked up a bit wrong. This is more probably structure on a lower time frame, so that would have been like barely a pullback over there. Even calling this really the actual like lower low now, because the 4 hours anchored, but this would be maybe microstructure on a lower time frame. But the point is, like, if you've had a high, which is an anchored wave on a daily, it needs to create a lower low, and if that's going to happen, you are at a minimum gonna demolish that over there. And usually with a step staircase of the market, it would be a lower low would kiss a previous, structure as well. So that's the reason why I had, all of that marked up there. I was targeting my 2R, went, a lot better. But anyway, it's just something to think about when you guys are looking at the charts as well, if it helps you to look at the zigzag of how things are and how it marries up to the waves. You can see that the high low in an uptrend is usually a trigger wave for a re-entry. So it's just something to be aware of. Okay, GU on Tuesday was not where AU was at. So it was still, you can see, hanging in the anchor for a few days, right up until the end of the week. And I suppose another thing to note and be aware of, which you guys already probably are, AU's week opened under the 1 hour 100 EMA. It like opened over here. So GU still opened above, but it is probably going to be a weekly reversal if the daily has finished anchoring and breaking anchor, because this is a take profit from a larger fractal swing. It has to pull back from there, like it just has to, unless it's going to put in even more of a high. Like it's just that doesn't make sense. And usually the correlation plays out perfectly, which you can see with all of the news coming out with the tariffs and all this crazy stuff happening. The correlation's a bit broken down, but ultimately it is trying to follow. So now that we've got the anchor break, 4 hour is probably going to go to negative 60 next week. Okay, and you can see with the structure again, I'm just going to remove this. You can see your higher low is a trigger, your higher low is a trigger. Okay, like, and this is your high, and you can see it's trying to put in a lower low. It has to break this. Okay, and then it's, so next week I'll be looking for shorts on GU again. A reversal week, you can play both long and short. This usually happens. You get this tight range and then it breaks. So we can look at the week and you can see that you've had blue, 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 and then midway through the week, this is probably a doji type of a candle, and then it breaks and it reverses the trend. That always happens on a trend reversal weekly candle. Says whites was a bit messy. That's unfortunate. I got stopped out on shorting GU. You can see these candles stopped me out. I just thought we were going to have a straight run for it, and I didn't enter again. I just left it alone because AU went very well, and then I caught one more trade for the week. So it's Saturday right now, and yesterday morning, Friday morning, I said I'm going to look for a D15 long on UJ because the daily is going to break up on negative 60, which will send the 4-hour wave to plus 60. Okay, so intraday, yesterday during Friday, it did start breaking and sending the 4-hour wave higher. All right, so let's look at it. Here we go. This was our D15 candle. What a perfect candle. I mean, from the morning and I said it wasn't yet breaking anchor, but by obviously the close, it's pulled up enough and it has sent the 4-hour wave to plus 60. Like that is a perfect, is a perfect trade. I don't think the 15 anchored properly, so we can go and have a look at it. But, again, it's just that push and pull of the fractal and being aware of it. You can see UJ as well was a reversal week. You had this very tight range and then it broke. So let me just go look at the weekly quickly. So you can see it's mostly red and you've got a blue candle. So anytime you're getting a reverse, you're going to have this tight range during most of the week, and you can long and short both sides if you are scalping, and then it eventually breaks. Flips the EMA, and now, next week we're going to open here. So that's great. Okay. Let's look at the 15-minute wave. Yeah, it wasn't perfect. I actually was freaked out by this. I thought that it was going to be like, just a tiny trigger, and I started entering longs over here thinking like that had touched negative 60. So I did get trapped in some longs over here, had to hold some drawdown, and then I entered my final like layer in over here when I saw that it was like maybe putting in a div. So you can see it didn't like perfectly touch, but my stop was so massive I knew it was gonna like curve around. So, just give yourself enough space with your stop and don't risk stupid amounts so that you can have that space with your stop loss. So yeah, if you I don't know, Andy, you got in like pretty much a similar spot, so that's depending on what your box is looking like. Like it's not a horrible trade. Like that's a nice day. That's a nice D15. 4 hours anchored, so you could have taken profit on the 4-hour anchor anyway. That's pretty much where price is right now. That's your exit, because again, if you're looking at structure, let me just look at like a 2-hour time frame, because it's just putting it in just visually, it's just putting it in nicer for you guys. That 4-hour anchor is maybe your higher high, and did you see our entry was a higher low? So that was the trigger that we got in on. I always say to you, it's a 1-hour trigger wave is a D15. So you can see that, even this one. And then coming off of a low, it's an absolute low. It's an anchored wave that's breaking. And I'll just reiterate, people are new to watching the videos, of the time frames we usually look at, which I'd say is weekly, daily, and then, you know, down from there like 4 hour, 1 hour. The highest time frame that is anchoring or breaking anchor or zero crossing, that is what's controlling the fractal. That's what fractal you're in. So, I mean, I suppose unless you're scalping really low time frames like the 1 minute, you're not going to be cared about, you know, knowing the push and pull of the higher time frames. But for people who are swing trading, that's what you have to be looking at. The daily fractal is controlling this. Daily break, 4 hours anchoring. This now, if it's going to drop off, it's going to be a weekly 1 hour long re-entry next week, and then it's going to re-anchor, you know. So it's like, that's what your entry would be, is, you know, again, higher low with this zigzag, which means, you know, you have to make a higher high. That would be a time frame getting anchored. This will, you know, roll off, maybe anchor and create that. Yeah, I mean, that's what you'd be looking for next week. I don't know if this 4 hours finished. I mean, it looks like it is going to just like maybe flick a bit higher. We could, you know, you could gap up a little bit. It could do that before it resets. That can happen. So it could long and then pull back and then like re-long, you know. So just being aware of like what time frame is controlling things if you're a swing trader, guys. But if you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thanks, guys.